Hey, I'm Mike Backrell, and today we're going to take a look at 3 great lines played by Emily Remler. Let's take a look. So this entire sequence is really just one string of ideas that Emily plays to begin her solo over the tune My Romance from a David Benoit record. It's a really great solo. But each component of this string of ideas can be broken down to be a lot of material we can use to enhance our vocabulary. So let's start with the first idea. So the first idea is just 3 notes. It's really simple. So we're playing over My Romance in the key of B flat. So the first chord is B flat major. So we're going. And all that's happening there is we're playing E flat, up to F, down to D. So we're going 4, 5, 1 over the 1 chord. We can spend a lot of time analyzing what's going on there. And we think, okay, that E flat and F is really an F7 chord. Resolving, and it functions that way. But I don't want to think that hard about this. I want to think about just the sequence that she's playing and how we can apply it to other things. So let's think of it as a non-chord tone going up to a chord tone, coming down to the next chord tone. So we're going 4, 5, 3. So what if we do that here? So we're going 6, 7, 5. What if we do in the next spot? We'll go 1, 2, 7. And then we do it again. 2, 3, 1. This line is just 3 notes, but to me, when played with really good time in the right spot, this swings so much harder than the hippest line I can think of, because it's simple and it just feels good. So for the second line, what's going on here is it's an enclosure and going through some chord tones. So we're enclosing the root by going 7, 2, 1, 7, 1. Now this is something we should apply to all of our chord tones anyways. And so forth. Apply that idea to every single arpeggio shape you know. That'll get you a ton of mileage. But after, she then goes up to the next 2 chord tones. 3, 5. It's really like she's playing just a triad, but it's a really fancy version because of that enclosure. Okay, so like how can we take this and add to it? Well, what if we did that on the 3? And just go, so we go 3, 5, 7. Okay, so on the 5. In that case, we'll go 5, 7, 2. We can do on the 7. So we're going 5, 1, 3. And then again on the root, the octave. So we can apply that idea all over the guitar and get a bunch of usable information from just that. It's just a couple notes, but that can mold all sorts of things. And then from there, what if we make a minor? In addition to minor, we can make a dominant, minor, major 7. You can do all sorts of things to it. And now, from just a simple phrase, a simple couple of notes, now we have a huge chunk of usable vocabulary that we can apply over any chord change. Now this third line, this is a full 2-5. Now the thing I like about this is we can kind of break this up into 2 segments. What's going on there? We got our third, because in this case we're doing a 2-5, a C minor 7 to F7 back to B flat. So we're starting on our flat third of the C minor. So we're going flat 3 down to the 5th, flat 5, 5. So we're kind of like just encircling that 5th. Okay, well, what if we move this to other parts of the chord? So then I'm going from the 5th down to the flat 7. Go to the flat 7 down to the root. Root to the 3rd. Go to the 3rd to the 5th. Just an octave higher that time. I can move that around and I can apply the different chord types too. Major 7. like the dominant chords, anything. So that right there can be a huge chunk of information. Let's look at the F7 portion of this line. This is just a great resolution. Going up to the 13 of the F7, D, and then we're doing 3, 5 over the F7, which encloses the root of the 1 chord. And then after the root, we go down to the 6th, which is how a lot of the bebop guys resolved after the, they wouldn't just finish on 1. They would, keep the line going for another 8th note and go from the root down to the 6th, the 13. But we should take this part of the line and be able to apply it all over the guitar, because we're going to see that resolution come up all the time. And so the more places we can play that section of the line, the better off we'll be. So there's one string of ideas that if we break it down measure by measure and even just segment by segment, we can see that we can apply each of those segments to our playing and increase our playing in a big way. It's great to learn entire solos and long lines. That stuff's always cool and fun to do, and I think it's really good for your chops and good for your ear and everything too, to be transcribing solos and to be learning whole things, because it kind of trains your ear to what the vocabulary sounds like and where things go and how things resolve. But oftentimes we get hung up on these longer lines, and trying to apply, 2 measures worth of material into your own playing, that's quite a bit of stuff. That's a lot to ask of yourself. But applying 3 notes in some cases, or just a couple notes, or like a segment of an idea, that's more manageable. And I'm willing to bet that's going to have a bigger impact on your playing than a bunch of longer lines will. So I hope you got something out of this. I got a ton out of it, and this is stuff I'm going to be practicing like crazy. So thanks for checking out the lesson. Keep practicing. I'll see you next time.